This is a brand new Humane AI pin. There have been a bunch of reviews online. Some of them are very negative, some of them are positive. In today's video, I'm gonna test out every single feature that it has so we can see what it does and if it's worth it. Starting with nearby to help me find a coffee shop. Coffee shops near me. You can see that it's writing the text that I'm saying on my hand via the laser. Then it says Mott Street is known for a bustling atmosphere. And then scroll down by pinching my fingers. There's no specific information related to your inquiry. All right, let me try to rephrase. Let's see. Coffee shops near Mulberry Street. I'm gonna try to play around with this. There's a feature at the top that says nearby. If I click onto that, it will say Nolita. Where can I find coffee in Nolita? So it kind of remembered that I wanted to do that, and now it says finding coffee shops. Just to compare this is another wearable, the Apple Watch. I'm gonna ask the Apple Watch to find a coffee shop and see if the results are better. Coffee shops near me. It says the Gray Dog, and there's a visual so I can see the map pretty clearly. Siri is still not amazing, so it's not the best, but it is nice to see a visual of the map. And if we actually just walk this way, this is Mulberry Street. There's a bunch of coffee shops. So that's test number one. I have found that the way that the Humane AI Pin works is by combining multiple large language models. So it uses things like ChatGPT, but then it also uses other AI, and it, in the moment, decides which one is the best. There is some latency though. So for example, in that coffee shop example, it was telling me a lot about the neighborhood, but not giving me the specifics of the area. And I think we may see that throughout the day, so we'll keep testing it. The best part of the Humane AI Pin is by far its hardware. You can see it on my shirt right now. I think it looks really clean. It feels very premium. It goes via a magnet that also acts as your battery booster. More thoughts on the battery soon. And that just clicks right into place. It very much looks like a Apple product aesthetic, and it feels like a very natural interface where you hold down your finger on the front of the device to ask a question. So for example, what's the weather in New York?
The current weather in New York is cloudy with a temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. No precipitation is expected. That
spoke that to me, but if I put it back on my shirt here and I asked it again, but this time with my hand in front, what's the temperature? Currently in New York, it says 50 degrees. So those are the two interaction points. You have the speaking to the AI and then the laser ink display, which projects onto your hand. And I'm an optimist at heart for everything, so there's a part of me that's like, damn, it is so exciting to have like an assistant right there, and it feels like the future to have a laser display that works by moving your hand. Amazing, in theory. But it's definitely Gen 1, and so there are issues, and I think that that is going to be like prevalent throughout the entire day. We're gonna keep testing features and we'll see. While it seems like intuitive in theory, I feel like a lot of the times I'm a little bit confused on if it's just like taking an extra second or if there's like a bigger reason why it's not working, because sometimes it's nice to have the visual. Like for example, in that coffee shop example, the fact that I could quickly see on my Apple Watch that it was working and trying to find stuff is more helpful than just seeing that it knows that I asked a question, but then I'm waiting for the answer. Coffee shops that are not chains near me.
Some non-chain coffee shops near you are Think Coffee at 248 Mercer Street and yours truly Coffee at 8 Spring Street.
One of the things with the AI pin is that the way the battery works is it has the actual AI pin and then you have the booster and then this charge case. Now again, they really nailed the hardware where it feels really premium, Apple-esque. This is great, makes a lot of sense to charge it this way. When you ask for a battery life update, it will tell you both the battery life of the actual Humane AI pin and then the battery life of the booster. So for example, your AI pin has 10% and your booster has 17, and then you kind of have to do the mental math of, okay, like, does that mean I have 27%? How long does it actually last for? Versus telling you an overall. And I find that the battery just does not last that long. We started off the day at like 45-ish%, and now I just plugged it back into its case to start to juice it back up, and we'll see what happens here. It's flashing, so I think it's on. We'll try it again. I would love if there was like an audio way to enter in the passcode. Like if I could be like, passcode is 0000. I know that could be a security risk with people around you, but it would be nice to be able to use your voice to open it versus using the laser ink display. A feature that I really like that I think that they've done a really good job with is the ability for the Humane AI Pin to almost be like a second brain for you. All throughout the day, I'll remember things that I have to do or that are coming up, but there's not like an easy way for me to document that. So I often resort to like setting an alarm on my phone, which I'm sure everyone in my life hates. This is a better system. So I hold down, make a note that I have a flight to Las Vegas tomorrow. And then it says adding flight note. And then if I go to humane.center, which is the operating system for this, it will actually add in that I have that flight. And then if I ask the Humane PIN, where do I have a flight to?
There is no specific information available about the destination of your flight.
So strange.
If you have any details about the flight,
Make a note that I'm taking a flight to Las Vegas tomorrow at 7 a.m.
created a note titled Flight to Las Vegas, which says, taking a flight to Las Vegas tomorrow at 7 a.m.
Okay, that seems pretty promising. Now let me ask it to see if it remembers. Where am I taking a flight to?
Your AI PIN doesn't have specific information about the destination of your
So
flight.
strange.
If
Okay.
you have the details, please provide
That's
them
a
for
frustrating
further
experience.
assistance.
Let me try to give it an easier thing. Make a note that my favorite drink is iced coffee.
Created a note titled Favorite Drink, which says, my favorite drink is iced coffee.
What's my favorite drink?
Your favorite drink is iced coffee.
Let's go. Clearly, you can see in theory that the Notes app, it's a really good idea, and it adds it to the Humane Center, which is great. A simple thing like adding that I was taking a flight, it then wasn't really able to tell me that. So again, this is one of those examples where I really like the idea of it, but the execution just isn't fully there yet. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll probably recognize this location. This is a park that we go to a lot in these videos. And oftentimes when I'm walking around New York City, I put in headphones and I listen to music. And the AI PIN has a partnership with Tidal for its music. So it has speakers, or you can also connect via Bluetooth. Play Taylor Swift music.
To play music, please link your music account.
The way that this PIN works is through a $24 a month subscription fee, which feels steep, and that subscription fee allows it to connect to the internet and then also have phone and messaging. So I'll do an example of that right now. Call Jacqueline, and there we go. Phone calls work pretty well. Messaging is less good. Messaging is via SMS. I actually interviewed the CEO of this company last week, Bethany. One of the main questions that I asked is the difference between the phone numbers, because you can't use this and then connect it to your phone. It's a completely separate number. The bigger issue though, I think, is that you don't get the same calls to either. So I feel like you have to commit to which one you want to be like your primary device. And messaging is only SMS, so it's not like RCS, which means less encryption, harder to send videos and photos. And because there's like not a key visual component here, it also is like a little bit more sketch in knowing if you're talking to the right person. Like your voice is the main interaction point for sending messages. And there's also a catch-up feature where you can set up the product to have like certain like trusted contacts where I can be like, catch me up, and then it will tell me multiple things that have happened. Catch me up on what I've missed.
You said, hey Jacqueline, I'm walking around Soho today. Do you want to hang out later and see a movie? Jacqueline said, yes, would love to.
So that's like catching me up on like every interaction, and you can see in theory that, stop. You can see in theory that if you had a ton of different people messaging you and calendar invites, etc., it would be really nice to have the catch up. That just gave me a little glimmer of seeing a future where you have something on you and you're walking and you're present in the moment and you're asking it to update you and you're getting technology, but it's not taking you out of the moment. The issue is, I think we're seeing throughout the video, there's a lot of areas in which it is not there yet. Like, it doesn't always work consistently, and because there's not like a visual component, you obviously have like the laser display, but it's not as visual as a phone. I feel like sometimes I don't know where I'm at with it. There's another feature right now that's currently in beta called Look that I think will be great for people that have a visual impairment, and here is how it works. Look and tell me what you see. The delay is long.
A young man is standing on a city street corner. He is wearing a black jacket, green pants, and black sneakers. He is holding a camera on a gimbal and is looking into the lens. There are cars on the street and a bicycle parked on the sidewalk behind him. There is a building with a sign that says, living rentals available, to the right of the man.
That's pretty impressive. Like, that works really great. You can imagine if someone is like blind or something, that could be a huge asset as the time condenses on that. I'm surprised that worked. I feel like some of the simpler features are not working, and then like a very highly complex situation, which is using the camera and AI and the server for internet, worked. That was surprising, honestly. Do you remember earlier in the video when I asked the Humane Ai Pin to make a note that I had a flight coming up? That was legit. I just flew to Las Vegas. I got to the airport today at like 4 a.m., flew here, spoke on a panel. It's now 7:11 p.m. and I'm flying back to New York. And so I've been showing some people the pin throughout the conference and they seem initially intrigued. That said, obviously we've noticed throughout the entire day that a lot of the features are cool in theory but aren't actually working yet in practice. And while I'm at the airport, the other thing that I'm noticing is I'm charging this up right now, but there's no easy way for me to tell what battery it's at, so I'm kind of just playing a guessing game. And I've asked it a couple times, but it hasn't given me the answer. What battery are you at? And it just isn't responding, and because there's not a visual display, I can't tell what's going on. Nothing, so not sure what's going on with it. I'm gonna pop it back in its case to charge back up the booster, and then we'll give it a go again, and then we'll show the last two features and the overall verdict on this product right now. So the translator feature works like this. Translate to Spanish. Where can I get cold brew coffee?
¿Dónde puedo conseguir café frío?
So the future roadmap for this is to have the language model be in our voice, which I think is great. And this is one of those moments where you get like a glimpse of what the product can be. Like having an assistant right by you, having a translator on you, sick. That said, throughout this entire day of testing out all the features, like even setting up Tidal and having to pay now for an additional music subscription after the trial period's over, and then the $24 a month subscription fee for this that is not linked to your phone, and then the $700 cost, makes it a product that I really couldn't recommend people buy right now because I just don't think that the utility is there, and I feel like when tech works well, it's invisible, but then when tech doesn't work well, that's when we really notice it, and there are a lot of times throughout using this where I'm like, damn, it would actually be so sick if it did the thing it says it's gonna do. But I'm optimistic that they may have something here because I think that the hardware is beautifully designed. I really liked Bethany and their whole team when I met them, and so I'm hopeful that they'll keep iterating and improving. We'd love to hear what you think of it with a comment below. And I'm gonna hop back on this flight and get back to working on videos. Okay, have an amazing day. Appreciate you. Bye.